I'm standing here in the cereal aisle holding a box of Cheerios that costs $8.49. $8 for something that's basically pressed oats and air. I came in here for milk. Just milk, that's it, 1 gallon of whole milk. Because I ran out this morning and my coffee tasted like sadness. But now I've got this cart with 17 items I didn't plan to buy. My wallet's about to be $40 lighter, and I still haven't figured out how this happened. Again, for the 3rd time this month. You know that feeling when you walk into a grocery store and suddenly your brain just shuts off? Like you enter through those automatic doors and boom, you're in some kind of financial fugue state. Where $150 disappears and you're standing in your kitchen 2 hours later. Thinking, what the hell did I even buy? Yeah, that's not an accident. That's not you being stupid or careless or bad with money. That's exactly what they designed it to do. These stores are psychological warfare zones, disguised as places that sell bananas. Let me tell you what happened to me last Tuesday. I walk in, I need chicken breasts, some rice, maybe spinach. Because I'm trying to pretend I care about my health. Basic stuff. $30 tops if I'm not an idiot about it. But here's what actually went down. First thing I see when I walk in, not the chicken, not the produce. It's this massive display of Coca-Cola 2 liters on sale. Buy 2, get 1 free. Now, I don't even drink Coke anymore because my doctor looked at my blood pressure and made this face like I was actively dying. But my brain sees that bright red, sees that word free. And suddenly I'm thinking, well, I could have them for when people come over. What people? I live alone. Nobody's coming over. My last visitor was the guy reading the electric meter. So now I've got 3 bottles of Coke I don't need. I'm already $10 over budget. And I haven't even made it past the entrance. This is the trap. They put what they call loss leaders right at the front, products they sell at a loss or tiny profit. Just to get you in the door and trigger that buying reflex, it's like a drug dealer giving you the first hit free. You think you're winning because it's on sale. They know you're going to walk out with $50 of other crap. Because you felt smart for saving $2 on soda. I keep walking. Now I'm in produce. The chicken is all the way in the back corner because of course it is. Nothing you actually need is ever near the entrance. You gotta walk past everything else first. It's called the decompression zone, this whole front area of the store. They slow you down. They let your guard drop. They hit you with smells from the bakery, bright colors from the flowers. The illusion of freshness and abundance. Your brain relaxes. You stop thinking about your budget. You start thinking this isn't so bad. Maybe I should cook something nice this week. Maybe I deserve a little treat. The produce section is designed to make you feel healthy and virtuous. Look at all these fresh vegetables. Look how responsible I am. Never mind that half of them are going to rot in your fridge, because you bought them with good intentions and zero actual plan. But you feel good buying them. That's the whole point. They put produce first in most American stores now because it creates this psychological permission slip. I bought kale. I'm basically a nutrition guru. Now I can justify the frozen pizza and ice cream later. I grabbed the spinach. It's in one of those plastic containers that makes it look like way more than it actually is. 5 ounces of leaves in a package the size of a shoebox, $4.99. I'm annoyed, but I grab it anyway because I'm already here and I already made the mental commitment. This is called the sunk cost fallacy, and it happens every single time you shop. The moment you pick up that first item, you're psychologically invested. Your brain doesn't want to walk out empty-handed. After you already spent the time and energy to show up now, I'm heading toward the back for that chicken. But I got across the entire store to get there. Every aisle I pass is screaming at me. Bright packages, end caps with special displays, little signs that say manager's special or new flavor or limited time. My eyes are darting everywhere. I'm not even reading in the signs consciously, but my brain is processing all of it. The colors, the fonts, the placement. Grocery stores spend millions studying exactly how your eyeballs move through a space. They know you scan shelves left to right, top to bottom in most cultures. They know the most expensive, highest margin products go at eye level. The cheap stuff, the store brands, they're down by your ankles or up where you need a step stool. I grab some rice. I'm looking for the basic long grain white rice my mom used to buy. The one in the big bag that costs like $8 and lasts 3 months, but I can't find it. What I can find is jasmine rice, basmati rice, organic heirloom rice, forbidden black rice. Rice medley with 17 ingredients I can't pronounce. All of them between $12 and $18. The cheap rice is there, I know it is, but it's on the bottom shelf shoved behind the fancy stuff. In a package that looks boring and institutional compared to all these others with their pretty fonts and promises of superior taste and texture. I stand there for 30 seconds having an internal argument with myself about whether rice even matters. Whether I can taste the difference, whether spending an extra $6 makes me a sophisticated cook or just a sucker. I grabbed the $12 jasmine rice because I'm tired of thinking about it and I've convinced myself it's worth it. Even though I know I can't actually tell the difference when it's covered in soy sauce. This is decision fatigue. Stores weaponize it against you. They give you so many choices that your brain gets exhausted and starts making bad calls. When you're mentally tired, you default to emotional decisions instead of logical ones. You buy based on how the package makes you feel, not what you actually need or what makes financial sense. Those fancy rice bags with the pretty designs and the story about farmers in Thailand? That's not about rice. That's about selling you a feeling, a story, an identity. You're not just buying rice. You're buying the idea that you're the kind of person who appreciates quality, who cares about authenticity, who's cultured enough to know the difference between jasmine and regular for $6 extra. Finally, I make it to the meat section in the back corner. The chicken breast is right there. $10 for a family pack. Reasonable. This is what I came for. But now I'm standing in front of this refrigerated case looking at 30 different options. Regular chicken, organic chicken, free-range chicken, air-chilled chicken. Chicken that lived its best life. Running around a pasture eating bugs and listening to Mozart, probably. The prices range from $10 to $27. For basically the same amount of meat, the expensive ones have these labels. Hormone-free, antibiotic-free, humanely raised. And now I'm feeling guilty. I'm thinking about factory farming and suffering chickens and whether I'm a bad person if I buy the cheap one. Never mind that I can barely afford the expensive one. Never mind that federal regulations already prohibit hormones in poultry. So that label is technically meaningless. I don't know that standing here at 6 p.m. on a Tuesday when I'm hungry and tired and just want to go home. I grab the middle option, $15. It says organic. I feel slightly better about myself and slightly worse about my bank account. This is the compromise zone they've created. They put extreme options on both ends, the super cheap and the ridiculously expensive, so that the middle option feels reasonable and responsible even when it's actually overpriced. It's called price anchoring. Once you see chicken for $27, $15 seems downright sensible. You feel like you're being smart and moderate. You're not. You're spending 50% more than you planned because they manipulated your perception of value. I should leave now. I have everything I came for: chicken, rice, spinach. I'm at about $32. Not bad. Could be worse. But I'm not leaving. You know why? Because I still have to get to the checkout. And the checkout is on the complete opposite side of the store from where I am. They designed it that way. The milk, the eggs, the bread, all the staples everyone needs, they're spread out to the far corners. So you have to traverse the maximum amount of retail space. Every extra step is another chance for something to catch your eye. Another opportunity for them to separate you from your money. I'm cutting through the snack aisle because it's the shortest path to the registers. Big mistake. Massive mistake. This aisle is a minefield of engineered cravings. The chips are calling to me, those Doritos in the shiny bag, the pretzels, the cookies. I'm not even hungry for this stuff, but the packages are designed by people who understand human neuroscience. Better than I understand how to balance my checkbook. The colors trigger dopamine. The crinkly sounds the bags make when you pick them up are carefully engineered to sound fresh and appealing. Even the fonts on the packaging are tested to maximize desire. I grab a bag of tortilla chips. $5.79 for air and salt and a tiny bit of corn. I tell myself it's for the weekend. I'll make nachos or something. I won't. I'll eat half the bag tonight standing at my kitchen counter scrolling through my phone and hating myself. But right now in this aisle, I'm convinced it's a good decision. The packaging says restaurant style in big letters. There's a picture of chips with perfect little air bubbles looking golden and delicious. My brain doesn't care that it's a lie. My brain wants the fantasy those chips represent. A fun weekend, a party, being the kind of person who has people over for nachos. Now I'm in the checkout lane, and this is where they really get you. This is the final boss level of grocery store psychology. I'm stuck here. Can't move forward because there's people ahead of me. Can't easily back out because there's people behind me. I'm a captive audience, and they know it. So they surround me with impulse buys. Candy bars, magazines, energy drinks, gum, beef jerky, travel-sized everything. Little products that cost $2 to $5 that you'd never walk across the store to buy. But when you're standing here bored and waiting, you think, why not? The candy bars are right at hand level. I don't even have to reach. Kit Kat is staring at me. The package is bright red. My brain associates red with excitement, with reward. I'm tired. I had a long day. Don't I deserve a Kit Kat? It's only $1.79. That's nothing. I already spent $45. What's another $2? This is how they get you with small additions. Death by 1,000 paper cuts. None of these individual purchases feel significant, but they add up. to 20 or 30% more than you intended to spend. I don't grab the Kit Kat. Small victory. But I do grab a pack of gum because my breath probably smells like coffee and regret. $3 for 14 pieces of gum. That's 21 cents per piece. If I thought about it that way, I'd never buy it, but I don't think about it that way. I think it by every impulse purchase, by every tiny decision that seems insignificant in the moment. The person, like it's 1993, I'm stuck here for another 5 minutes minimum. The magazines are right in my face, headlines designed to trigger anxiety and curiosity. Your money mistakes costing you thousands. Lose weight with this one weird trick. The salad that celebrities are obsessed with. I don't care about any of this, but I'm bored. My phone's in my pocket and reaching for it feels like too much effort, so I'm reading these headlines. And they're worming into my brain. They're making me think about my financial mistakes, about my weight, about whether I should be eating more salad. The checkout conveyor belt finally moves. I load up my stuff. The cashier scans everything, and I watch the total climb on that little screen. $32, $41, $48, $53.67. For chicken and rice and spinach and a bunch of other crap I convinced myself I needed in the last 30 minutes. I hand over my card. I try not to think about how this is the third time this week. I've spent $50+ on groceries, how I keep saying I'm going to meal plan and budget, but I never do. How I'm spending probably $600-700 a month on food for one person, when I could probably do it for $400 if I wasn't an idiot about it. The thing is, I'm not an idiot. That's what makes this so frustrating. I know what they're doing. I've read about this stuff. I understand the psychology, but it still works. That's the insidious part. You can know you're being manipulated and still fall for it. Because these techniques are designed to bypass your rational brain and hit you right in the emotional, impulsive lizard brain. That just wants immediate gratification and doesn't care about your budget spreadsheet. Let me break down the playbook they're running on you every single time you walk into a grocery store. First thing you gotta understand is that supermarkets are not designed for your convenience. They're not designed to help you quickly get what you need and get out. They're designed to maximize the amount of time you spend inside and the number of products you interact with. Because both of those things directly correlate to how much money you spend. Every layout decision, every product placement, every smell and sound and color choice is deliberate. Nothing is random. The shopping cart itself is part of the scam. The first shopping cart was invented in 1937. And over the decades, they've gotten bigger and bigger. The average grocery cart today is literally twice the size it was in the 70s. Why? Because people fill whatever container you give them. It's called the shopping cart effect. When you have a big cart with lots of empty space, you unconsciously want to fill it. An empty cart feels wrong, wasteful, like you're not shopping properly. So you add more items to make it look full, to justify having the cart in the first place. The cart isn't a convenience. It's a psychological nudge to buy more. The layout of the store follows what's called a grid or racetrack design. The essential items, the things you actually need, are placed around the perimeter and in the back corners. Milk in the back corner, eggs in another corner, bread somewhere else. This forces you to walk through the entire store, the path of maximum exposure. And between you and those essential items is the center of the store, all those middle aisles packed with processed foods, snacks, sodas, cookies, all the high-margin products they really want you to buy. Most grocery stores make their actual profit on those center aisles, not on the produce or meat or dairy. Those are often low-margin or even loss leaders. They need you walking past the Oreos and Pringles to make their numbers. The end caps, those displays at the end of each aisle, you think those are just convenient highlights of good deals? Wrong. Brands pay tens of thousands of dollars for that end cap space because it's prime real estate. People assume products on end caps are on sale. They're not always. Sometimes they're exactly the same price as on the regular shelf, but you perceive them as special because of where they're located. The positioning creates the value in your mind, not the actual price. Then you've got the eye level is buy level rule. The most profitable products are always placed at average adult eye level, roughly 5 feet off the ground. That's where your eyes naturally land when you're walking and scanning. The cheap stuff, the generic brands. The products the store makes less money on, those are on the top shelf where you have to stretch, or the bottom shelf where you have to squat down. They're counting on you being lazy, on you grabbing what's easiest to reach. And most people do exactly that. The smell thing is real too. You ever notice how the bakery is always near the front of the store? Or how the smell of fresh bread somehow reaches all the way to the entrance? That's not an accident. Smell is the fastest route to emotional response in the human brain. The scent of baking bread triggers feelings of comfort. Home, nostalgia, it makes you feel good, it makes you relax, it makes you hungry. And when you're hungry and relaxed, you buy more. Some stores even pump artificial scents through their ventilation. The smell of rotisserie chicken, fresh coffee, cookies baking, it's all theater designed to manipulate your emotional state. Music matters too. They play slower music during peak hours to slow you down, to make you linger, to keep you in the store longer. Fast music during off-peak hours to move people through quicker. The tempo literally affects how fast you walk through the aisles. Research shows that slower music can increase sales by up to 30% because people spend more time browsing. They pick up more products. They examine more options. Every extra minute you're in that store is money in their pocket. The lighting is calculated. Bright lights in the produce section to make everything look fresh and vibrant. Different color temperatures for meat to make it look redder and more appealing. Softer lighting in wine sections to create a more sophisticated ambiance. They're manipulating your visual perception to make products look better than they actually are. Package sizes are a whole other scam. You see that big box of cereal and you assume it's a better value than the small box. Often it's not. Sometimes the price per ounce is actually higher on the bigger package because they know you're not doing the math. You're using mental shortcuts. Big equals value. Family size equals savings, except when it doesn't. You got to check the unit price on those shelf tags, and most people don't. Most people grab based on size and feeling. The buy one get one free deals are usually manipulating you too. Research shows that people buy way more during BOGO sales than they would if the product was just discounted 50%. Mathematically, it's the same deal. 2 for $6 or 1 for $3, no difference, but your brain processes them differently. BOGO feels like winning, like getting something for nothing. So you buy 2 even when you only need 1. Now you've got extra product that's going to sit in your pantry until it expires, or you overconsume it because it's there. Either way, the store wins. The kids' cereal on the bottom shelf is deliberate. It's at kid eye level. The packaging has bright colors and cartoon characters specifically designed to appeal to children, who will then nudge their parents to buy it. It's called the nag factor. And grocery stores and product manufacturers exploit it ruthlessly. They know parents are exhausted. They know parents don't want to fight with their kids in the middle of the store. So they design products and placement to maximize kid appeal and minimize parental resistance. The whole concept of perceived scarcity is everywhere. Limited time only while supplies last. Managers special. These phrases trigger fear of missing out. They make you think you need to buy now, or you'll lose this opportunity forever. 90% of the time, it's complete nonsense. That same sale will run again in 2 weeks. That limited edition flavor will be back next month. But in the moment you panic, you grab it, you buy it even though you weren't planning to because your brain is afraid of regret. They use the contrast effect constantly. Put an expensive option next to a moderately expensive option, and suddenly the moderate one seems reasonable. $27 chicken makes $15 chicken look smart. $8 ice cream makes $5 ice cream look like a bargain. You're not evaluating the absolute value. You're evaluating relative value based on the context they've created. And they control the context. The fresh and healthy positioning at the front of the store serves another purpose beyond making you feel virtuous. It creates a health halo effect. Once you've bought spinach and apples, you feel like you've earned the right to buy junk. You've balanced it out in your mind. I bought vegetables so the ice cream doesn't count. The store is literally giving you permission to indulge by making you feel responsible first. It's brilliant and evil. Checkout lanes are engineered impulse zones. You're stuck there. You're bored. You're slightly stressed about the total. You're surrounded by small indulgences that promise quick mood boosts. Chocolate, soda, magazines with celebrity gossip and easy recipes. Your self-control's already depleted from making hundreds of decisions in the store. This is called ego depletion. Your willpower is a finite resource, and by the time you hit checkout, you're running on empty. That's exactly when they hit you with the easiest targets. Small, cheap, instantly gratifying. You fold. Most people do. The receipt is designed to be confusing. Long, lots of codes. Coupon savings highlighted to make you feel good about how much you saved, even though you actually spent way more than you planned. You save, but so what do you, here's what this is when you're hungry, everything looks good. Your self-control disappears. Studies show you buy up to 60% more when you shop hungry. Eat a meal, even a snack, something to take the edge off. Your wallet will thank you. 2. I make a list and I stick to it like it's a legal contract. I write down exactly what I need before I leave the house. When I get to the store, I buy only what's on that list, nothing else. If it's not written down, I don't put it in the cart. This requires discipline. It requires ignoring all those impulse triggers, but it works. My shopping trips when I use a list are consistently 30 to 40% cheaper than when I wing it. 3. I avoid the center aisles when possible. I shop the perimeter. Produce, meat, dairy, eggs. The real food. The stuff that doesn't have 17 ingredients and a cartoon mascot. This isn't some health guru nonsense. It's financial strategy. The center aisles are where they mark up everything and where the impulse purchases live. The perimeter is where the actual staples are, in and out, fast and cheap. 4. I check unit prices, not package sizes. That little label on the shelf that shows price per ounce or price per pound. That's the only number that matters. I compare every option using that number. Yeah, it takes an extra 10 seconds. Yeah, it's boring, but it's the difference between getting scammed and actually getting value. Sometimes the big package is cheaper per unit. Sometimes it's not. The only way to know is to check. 5. I go to the store with a time limit. I give myself 30 minutes maximum. I set a timer on my phone. When it goes off, I'm done shopping and I head to checkout. This prevents browsing. Browsing is the enemy. Every extra minute in that store costs you money. Get in, get what you need, get out. It's a mission, not a leisure activity. 6. I use cash for groceries sometimes. I take out $100 cash and that's my budget for the week. When it's gone, it's gone. Swiping a card doesn't feel real. Numbers on a screen don't trigger the same psychological pain as handing over physical money. Cash makes spending tangible. It hurts a little. That pain is good. It keeps you honest. 7. I buy generic for most things. Store brand versus name brand is the same product 90% of the time. Same factories, same ingredients, different label. The name brand is paying for advertising and shelf space. And you're paying for that in the price. I buy generic cereal, generic pasta, generic canned goods, generic everything, unless there's a specific product where I can actually taste the difference. For me, that's like 3 things. Everything else generic. 8. I ignore sales unless it's something I was already going to buy. Sales are a trap. They make you buy things you don't need because you're saving money. You're not saving money if you spend money on something you wouldn't have otherwise purchased. I only use sales to stock up on staples I buy regularly anyway. If rice goes on sale and I eat rice every week, great, I'll buy extra. If some random flavored coffee creamer I've never tried is buy one get one free, I don't care. Pass. 9. I shop alone. No kids, no spouse, no friends. Solo mission. Other people are decision fatigue multipliers. They want things. They suggest things. They slow you down. They distract you. Shopping alone keeps you focused and fast. It's not antisocial. It's financial self-preservation. 10. I meal plan for the week before I shop. I sit down Sunday night and figure out what I'm eating for dinner each night. Then I make my list based on those actual meals. This eliminates the what should I buy uncertainty. That leads to random overbuying. I know I need chicken for Monday, pasta for Tuesday, eggs for Wednesday. I buy exactly that. No more, no less. The psychology of grocery stores is designed to exploit every weakness in human decision-making. They know we're tired. They know we're busy. They know we're not going to do math in our heads or comparison shop properly. They know we make emotional decisions and justify them with logic later. They've spent billions of dollars researching exactly how to make us spend more than we intend to. The only way to fight back is with systems, with rules, with discipline that removes emotion from the equation. You can't outthink these stores in the moment. Your willpower will fail. Your rationality will crack. That's why you need the systems in place before you walk through those doors. The list, the time limit, the cash budget, the meal plan. These aren't optional nice-to-haves. They're defensive measures against a sophisticated adversary that has every advantage. I still mess up. I still walk out with stuff I didn't need. I still fall for sales that aren't really deals. But I mess up less than I used to. My average grocery bill used to be like $700 a month. Now it's closer to $450. That's $3,000 a year I'm not pissing away on impulse tortilla chips. And organic rice I can't taste the difference on. $3,000 that can go toward actually important things. Like not being in debt or having an emergency fund or maybe one day owning something instead of renting forever. The grocery store wants your money. They're really good at getting it. They've engineered everything from the floor plan to the music, to the lighting, to maximize extraction. You gotta be better. You gotta be smarter. You gotta have a plan and stick to it even when the Kit Kats are whispering your name at checkout. It's not easy. Nothing about money is easy, but it's simple. Make a list, stick to the list. Don't shop hungry, don't browse, check unit prices, buy generic, get out fast. That's it. That's the whole strategy for not getting psychologically manipulated into poverty by a building that sells bananas. You can do this. I believe in you, mostly because I need to believe in me and we're probably making the same mistakes.